Karl Heinrich Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, political theorist, sociologist, journalist and socialist. Born in Trier into a middle-class family, Marx studied Hegelian law and philosophy. Wikipedia. Born May 5, 1818, Trier, German. Died March 14, 1883, London, United Kingdom. Spouse, Jenny von Westphalen, born 1843 to 1881. Buried March 17, 1883, Highgate Cemetery, London, United Kingdom. Children, Eleanor Marx, Henry Edward Guy Marx, Laura Marx, Jenny Longwet, Edgar Marx. Another nationality, German, Kingdom of Prussia, Prussia. Marx argues that human consciousness is conditioned by the interplay of dialectical influences between subjects or individuals in society and objects or the material world in which we live. Thus history is a continuous process of creating, satisfy, and recreate human needs. December 22, 2019. Marx considered that the economic structure of society which is supported by its relations with production is the real foundation of society. The economic structure of this society is the basis for the emergence of the legal and political superstructure and associated with certain forms of social consciousness. Marxism? Marxism is a form of Marx's protest against the notion of capitalism. He considers that the capitalists collect money at the expense of the proletariat. The condition of the proletariat is very sad because it is forced to work long hours at. Marx considered that the economic system of capitalism had exploited the workers. Marx argued that the value of a good is produced through the production process of the labor of workers, while capitalism steals the surplus value. The aim of Marxism-Leninism is the development of the state into what is considered a socialist state through the leadership of a revolutionary vanguard composed of professional revolutionaries, who are the most important small groups of working class who came to the socialist consciousness as a result of. There can be no doubt that Marxism-Communism-Leninism is in conflict with Pancasila as the basis of the stated ideology of the Indonesian nation. After the rebellion and betrayal of the G30S/PKI, the spread of Marxism-Communism-Leninism was prohibited in Indonesia. The ban on the spread of Marxism-Communism-Leninism coincided with the dissolution and disbandment of the Indonesian Communist Party, PKI. The prohibition on the spread of Marxism-Communism-Leninism is stated in MPRS Decree No. 25, 1966. But for the sake of academic study, scientific studies on Marxism-Communism-Leninism are not prohibited. Why is the spread of Marxism-Communism? The prohibition on the spread of Marxism-Communism-Leninism is stated in MPRS Decree No. 25, 1966. But for the sake of academic study, scientific studies on Marxism-Communism-Leninism are not prohibited. Why is the spread of Marxism-Communism? Karl Marx and Marxism. Marxism is the understanding or teachings of Karl Heinrich Marx. He was born in Trier, Kingdom of Prussia, on May 5, 1818 and died on March 14, 1883 at the age of 64. At first, he was Protestant, but later became an atheist, godless and anti-religious. In other words, he adheres to the notion of atheism, meaning that does not believe in the existence of God. His important works were the Communist Manifesto, 1848, and Das Kapital, 1864. Karl Marx's close friend and his partner was Friedrich Engels, 1820–1895, both known as the founder of modern communism. Marx's theory revolves around social, economic and political. As an atheist, Karl Marx argued that religion is the opium of the people. Religion is the opium of the people. Die Religion ist das Opium des Volkes. This is the controversial opinion of Marx, which is very unpleasant to hear in the ears of religious people. Marx said, "Religion is only a solace for the oppressed and oppressed people. Religion only promises false and imaginary happiness. Therefore, to achieve true and essential happiness, humans must eliminate the illusion of happiness taught by religion." In order to attain true and genuine happiness, man must get rid of the illusions of happiness portrayed by religion. Religion must be eradicated because it becomes the opium of society. With this opinion, Marx is known as a figure who is without God and without religion. Regarding social problems, Marx theorized that in people's lives there is a dialectic of class struggle, namely the conflict between the capitalist class and the lower class who work to produce goods. Marx was very critical of the economic system of capitalism, which he called the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, which was managed by a class of rich people whose main orientation and goal was to fulfill their interests and profits. Marx predicted that capitalism would undergo internal decay, which will eventually collapse and be replaced by a new system, socialism. Karl Marx argued, under the umbrella of socialism, society would be ruled by the working class, namely the class he called the dictatorship of the proletariat, the state of the workers, or the democracy of the workers. Marx believed that socialism would in turn be replaced by a classless society which he called communism. A classless society, a communist society, or a society of equal tastes and equality is the great obsession and ideal of Karl Marx. Marx's critics say, the society, what Marx aspires to is utopian and will never come true. The point to note here is that Marxism, communism, atheism is intertwined. Karl Marx is the originator of Marxism, a communist figure who is anti-God and anti-religion. Talks about Karl Marx cannot be separated from the name of Lenin. Lenin, real name Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, was born in Simbirsk, Russian Empire, on April 10, 1870, and died on January 21, 1924. Lenin is known as a communist figure, politician, and of political theory. Lenin greatly admired Karl Marx because of that. Lenin's political direction rested on Marxist politics. Lenin contributed his political ideas in developing Marxist thought called Leninism. The combination and fusion of Lenin's the ideas with Marx's economic theory are called Marxism-Leninism. Lenin in 1893 moved to St. Petersburg. Here, Lenin's political activities are getting more and more up and coming. He occupies a position as a senior figure in the League of Struggle for the Equality of the Working Class. Accused of inciting the